Okay, now we're going to do one more little thing and then we'll take a break. When we get to step 8, it's going to say we have the list. We made it when we took step 4. And some of those names have come off the resentment sheet, some have come off the fear sheet, and some have come off the sexual harm sheet. But there's probably some people we've hurt in other ways other than sexually that haven't shown up on these 3 sheets yet. So what we're going to suggest is one more little inventory form, and it's called a review of harms other than sexual. Perhaps it's somebody we've stolen from, or perhaps it's somebody we've hurt physically, or perhaps it's somebody we undercut them and took their job away from them, or many ways we hurt people. In column 1, we just list who did I hurt. Column 2, what did I do to hurt them? Column 3, which part of self is affected? Column 4, what feelings did I create in others? And column 5, which character defect caused me to do that in the first place? Just like I did with the other sheets. And we'll be doing step 4. What did I do to hurt them? Column 3, which part of self is affected? Column 4, what feelings did I create in others? And column 5, which character defect caused me to do that in the first place? Just like I did with the other sheets. And we'll be doing step 4. 5th column, we see all the information now we'll need again for 5, 6, and 7. 1st column, all those names will come off of this one and be added to the sheet to be used later on for steps 8 and 9. And when we're through with this sheet, then we've gathered up all the information we need now for steps 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. How long did it take us to do this thing? How long have we been talking about it? 3.5 hours all told? Well, that's about as long as it takes to do the inventory. You really don't need to spend a lot of time on this inventory. Just follow the directions, fill these little sheets out, gather up the information, see what you've learned from it, and then you can go ahead with the rest of the program. But we can't really do 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 until we have completed step 4. Let's see what the book says. If we've been thorough about our personal inventory, we have written down a lot. We have listed and analyzed our resentments. Now, a lot of people don't like the word analyze. But to analyze something simply means to get down to the truth of it. This is another word that Bill uses. We've taken an honest, truthful, analytical, moral inventory. All of it meaning the truth. Now, he didn't say it, but we've listed and analyzed our fears. We've listed and analyzed our sexual harms. We've listed and analyzed our harms other than sexual. We've begun to comprehend their futility and their fatality. We've commenced to see their terrible destructiveness. Now, here's another promise. And again, we say you don't have to wait till you get to step 12 to get something. We have begun to learn patience, tolerance, patience, and goodwill toward all men, even our enemies. My God, what a personality change for an alcoholic. And all we've done is step 4. For we look on them as sick people. We have listed the people we've hurt by our conduct and are willing to straighten out the past if we can. In this book, you read again and again that faith did for us what we could not do for ourselves. We hope you are convinced now that God can remove whatever self-will has blocked you off from Him. If you've already made a decision,
step 3,
and an inventory of your grosser handicaps,
step 4,
you have made a good beginning. That being so, you have swallowed and digested some big chunks of truth about yourself. Isn't that something? Now, I don't know whether you guys have noticed or not, but nearly all the information in the big book on sex is on page 69. It really is. I don't know that got any meaning or anything. It just happens to be on page 69. We heard a story about a young lady who was fairly new to AA, been sober just a few months, and she went to her sponsor and she said, "Sponsor, I've got a problem." And her sponsor said, "What is it?" And she said, "Well, it's this sexual thing." She said, "Anything I've ever done in the sexual area, tried to attract a member of the opposite sex, has always been while drinking." And she said, "Sober, I just don't know what to do and how to function in this area." The sponsor said, "Well, go home and get out your book, read page 69, do what it says, and everything will be okay." So the young lady went home, got out her book, and proceeded to read. But she got confused on page numbers. Instead of page 69, she read page 96. Just for the hell of it, go to your book and see what it says in page 96. I think that's one of the most appropriate things I've ever read. It just goes on and on and on and on. Let's take about a 15-minute break. We'll come back and start finishing this thing up. It's not going to take too long now.